Have you ever been so busy chasing tomorrow that you almost forgot to live today? Most people don't notice it's happening. Life becomes a routine. Wake up, go to work, answer emails, pay the bills, go to bed, repeat. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and somewhere along the way, we begin believing that happiness is always waiting just beyond the next achievement. There was once a successful businessman named Michael. He had everything most people dreamed about: a beautiful house, a growing company, a luxury car. People admired his success. Some even envied his life. But there was one thing very few people knew. Every evening, Michael took the same train home. And every evening, he sat in the exact same seat. Across from him sat an elderly man carrying nothing more than a worn leather briefcase and a paperback book. For nearly 2 years, they never exchanged a single word. One rainy Friday evening, the train suddenly stopped because of a power outage. Passengers sighed with frustration. Phones lost their signal. There was nothing to do but wait. For the first time, the old man smiled at Michael. "Looks like we're going to be neighbors for a while." Michael laughed. "I guess we are." After a few minutes of conversation, Michael asked, "What did you do before you retired?" The old man smiled. "I was a janitor." Michael was surprised. "You don't seem disappointed about that." "Why would I be?" The old man replied. "I spent 40 years helping children learn in a clean and safe school. I wasn't building skyscrapers. I wasn't making headlines. But every morning, I knew my work mattered." Michael nodded politely, but deep inside, he wondered if the man had simply settled for less. Before getting off the train, the old man asked one question: "What are you building?" Michael answered confidently, "A company." The old man smiled kindly. "No, I mean, what kind of life are you building?" The train doors opened. The old man waved goodbye and disappeared into the crowd. Those words stayed with Michael all weekend. Monday morning, he returned to work. Meetings, deadlines, phone calls. But something felt different. Every time he looked at his calendar, he remembered the question, "What kind of life are you building?" That evening, he arrived home after his children were asleep. Again, he quietly looked into their rooms. Family photos covered the hallway. He suddenly realized something. He had thousands of pictures of his children, but very few memories of actually being with them. The next morning, he did something unusual. He declined an unnecessary meeting. Instead, he attended his daughter's school concert. She wasn't the lead singer. She only stood in the third row, smiling nervously. But when she spotted her father in the audience, her face lit up brighter than the stage lights. That smile stayed with Michael far longer than any business award. Over the following months, he didn't stop working hard. He still cared about his career, but he also began protecting time for the people he loved. Dinner became family time. Sunday mornings became phone calls to his parents. He took evening walks with his wife. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they simply enjoyed the silence. One evening, he boarded the train again. The elderly man wasn't there. Days passed. Then weeks. Finally, the conductor quietly explained that the old man had passed away peacefully. Michael felt an unexpected sadness. He realized he had never even learned the man's last name. Yet one simple conversation had changed the direction of his life. Several months later, Michael noticed a young professional sitting across from him. The young man looked exhausted. Laptop open, phone ringing, eyes fixed on another deadline. Michael smiled. Then he asked the same question that had once changed his own life. "What are you building?" The young man answered immediately, "My career." Michael smiled gently. "No, what kind of life are you building?" Sometimes the greatest lessons aren't taught in classrooms. They arrive during ordinary conversations. on quiet train rides, in simple questions from people the world often overlooks. The story isn't really about a train. It's about direction. Many people spend years climbing the ladder of success, only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. Success has value. Hard work matters. Ambition is not the enemy, but achievement means very little if it costs the relationships that matter most. Life is not only measured by what you earn, it's also measured by what you experience. The laughter you shared, the people you encouraged, the promises you kept, the moments when you chose presence over pressure. None of us knows how many train rides remain. None of us knows how many ordinary Tuesdays will be given. That's why today matters. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. It's another opportunity to become the kind of person you'll be proud to remember. At the end of life, few people wish they had answered one more email. Many wish they had shared one more meal, taken one more walk, or said I love you one more time. Perhaps the richest life isn't the one with the most possessions. Perhaps it's the one filled with moments that money could never buy. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. If this story meant something to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is one thing you've been meaning to make time for but keep putting off? Share your answer in the comments below. Your story might encourage someone else to slow down and focus on what truly matters. If you enjoy thoughtful stories about life, purpose, and timeless wisdom, don't forget to subscribe and join us for another inspiring story next week. Until next time, work hard, love deeply, stay present, and remember, the life you're building isn't measured only by where you're going, but by who you're becoming along the way.